27th of October, guys. Piotr here is Liteforex Global YouTube channel. The next 72 hours are gonna be busy like whoa. Well, with the next 72 hours we are going to get the weekly and monthly close. That's no doubt. Taking that into the consideration that the flow, market flow, is related into that event. We do have some central banks, but first today we are going to focus on Australian dollar and CPI. The main question is if the Australian CPI, Australian inflation, is going to support Australian dollar or is it going to send straight to the abyss. Now, with the medium and long-term charts on the verge of the breakdown, that's gonna be very interesting, and I strongly encourage you to check the charts with me. So see you inside. Okay guys, let's start quickly with Australian dollar versus US dollar. That's the daily chart. If you do remember, we are still under this breakout candle. We've seen last Friday attempt to retest this level, rejection. So we are right now within the very tight range in between 71-71.50, testing currently blue dashed line weekly open, right? That's how the things looks like from the daily chart perspective. But because we are approaching end of the weekend, end of the month at the same time, it's gonna be worth to say two words where we are currently when it comes to the monthly. Monthly is a monster 0.7 significant level when it comes to line in the sand for the bulls. So no surprise as we are approaching end of the month that this 70 is going to be defended by the bulls at all costs, most probably, right? On the other hand, as low as we are below previous monthly close, right, still the bears trying to fight around 71.50, right? So in that case, let's get back to the daily. In that case, for now, based on what we already discussed, right, drop, bounce around 62.78, drop, another bounce around 62. So I think that we've got quite a good chance, as long as we are below 71.90, 72.40, we have quite a good chance to drop and retest 0.7, and there the 0.7 over here, that's gonna be crucial, very important, because if we are going to break lower and close weekly, monthly below 0.7, if you do remember, we were discussing this as well from the weekly chart perspective, the next target is 66. So overall, for now, sellers around the current level, around the weekly open higher towards 71.90. So that's the zone for sellers. Buyers are going to try to defend levels close to 0.7, and the bearish view might be delayed, might be cancelled with the daily weekly close above 72.30, 72.40. That's how the things looks like when it comes to Aussie USD ahead of the CPI. The next one, Euro USD, EURAUD, Euro Aussie. It's a daily chart, very important breakout from the monthly 6 months consolidation. All right, we have currently very nice pullback, and looks like that might be preparation for trying to go higher. So what's the setup here? As long as we are above 64.80, 64.70, I think the chances are in the favor of the bull. So that could be somewhere here, some kind of the buying opportunity with levels close to 72 as a possible target. From the intra, that's the mid-term perspective. from intraday perspective, it could be, right, it could be that we are going to try to hold mid of that consolidation right here, right now, okay, attempt to break the trend line. So here we are targeting levels close to 68 from intraday perspective, with the very tight stop below 64.70. Another bearish chart when it comes to the Australian dollar. Only move back inside and break the 6-month consolidation to the downside like this, close below retest, will turn the market bearish in my opinion. Next one is GBPAUD pound versus Australian dollar. Very interesting situation when it comes to monthly and daily chart. Give me a second, please. Okay, something like this. Well, from the monthly chart perspective, where we are trying to get back above the monthly trend line and make this move to the downside as a fake one. That would be significant, but we need to close month above 84.50, 85, by creating also the swing low over here. That could reopen 204, 205, 207 again. So very, very interesting things from the, I would say, long-term perspective for the conservative traders waiting for the monthly close. From the intraday perspective, ahead of the CPI, right? Well, some may try to look for inverted head and shoulder, or something looks like inverted head and shoulders. But for me personally, I do like this. Latest weakness, right? So in that case, we move as low as 76 from the 82, 6 figures. So here short term we might see rally towards 1.9. Another Australian dollar bearish chart. Yes, that's how it looks for now ahead of the CPI. Of course, guys, as I mentioned before, we are approaching end of the month, so few things might be a little bit different on Friday. It's worth to remember and work properly with your exposure. And the last one, where usually I'm looking to buy Australian dollar, is the fight between the neighbors, right? Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar. But even here, from the daily chart perspective, taking into the consideration last few days, upper shadows, break below quite important 106.50 discussed previous weeks, opening, in my opinion, 105.70.60. But in that case, I think that the market is going to look for that liquidity breaking lower. Yes, I'm not a buyer here, so we might see break lower here. Where? Let me show you. Here we might look for as low as 0.5, 0480, right? That's aggressive break out of the channel retest, and 105, 104.80. And only here for now, because of what I see here, only here I'm gonna look for buying Australian dollar versus Kiwi dollar. I don't know where we are going to be on the others, but that's how it looks. That's where might be a little bit light in the tunnel when it comes to the Australian dollar, around 105. With that being said, guys, let's be ready for upcoming Tokyo session and Australian CPI. Have a good trading Tokyo session. Take care. Goodbye.